the hell with you.
Good evening,
I
Al.
want no old references. Okay, I'm not ready for it.
Who is that gravelly, loud voice that I hear? Is that Chef Josie?
Chef Josie, she's back.
I'm back. That's right.
Yes.
She's been on maternity leave.
Is that what that's called?
Unfortunately, I had a miscarriage.
And funny. And Poison Ivy is with us tonight. I'm
Yeah.
excited about
Yay.
Yes.
that. And Damian Pardo is with us tonight.
Hello.
We're going to talk a little Gay 8. That's exciting. It's going to come back in February of 22.
Oh my
Awesome.
God, I'm so excited to get
Power
back to
Infiniti.
dancing.
Let's do this.
Well, good evening and welcome to It's Happening Out, the world's most popular live gay television talk show. It's 8 p.m. Wednesday, March 31st, 2021. Last day, tomorrow's April Fools. We begin the holy holidays of Easter for Christians, Passover for Jews, and Ramadan for Muslims. However, you celebrate, or even if you don't, we wish you all peace. I'm your anchor, Al Ferguson. Let's start by meeting tonight's host. First up, this is Power Infiniti, an original host here on It's Happening Out. Power is a diva, oh my goodness is she, is a DJ, and is the creator of Tampa Bay's largest talent contest, Queen of the Night, and a big announcement I read this week about it. He is also the host of the television show Infiniti, live broadcasting on Facebook, and he's one of the great LGBT political liberal voices in America. Welcome, Power.
Hey Al, what's going on?
We're going to have a fun show. Next up is Faye What? She's a radio personality and has the popular blog, and apparently is a 1950s movie actress, and a YouTube channel called Faye What? She is an anchor of Unity Coalition's talk show, UC Television. Faye is also an anchor of the new Happening Out travel news show. Welcome, Faye.
Hi, happy to be here. Hola, mi gente.
Hola. This is Chef Josie. Of course, you know her. She's a Bravo TV top chef and the master of the popular oyster and celebration restaurant Bubbles and Pearls, the Champagne and Oysters Celebration Restaurant here in the heart of the famous Wilton Drive. Welcome, Chef Josie.
Hey, thanks. I'm so excited to be back. I hope you guys are ready to cook up some sauciness this evening because I came prepared.
It's going to be fun. And this is Damian Pardo. Of course, you know him. He is the board chair of Forward Miami, a nonprofit organization whose mission is to promote the diversity and inclusivity, economic status, and civil rights through the Gay 8 Festival and other community engagement programs, including human rights and cultural arts programs and events. He's also the co-host of the Miami Community News Forward Miami show, airing Fridays at 4 p.m. Welcome, Damian.
Thank you very much, Al. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm looking forward to the show, and I just super excited. Thank you.
And next up is drag queen Poison Ivy. Love that name. She is our next host, Naomi Aguilera, better known as Poison Ivy. Of course, she is a Latin American, Cuban, Puerto Rican, trans female, an active cabaret host whose beauty has won several beauty pageants and has performed several impersonation roles on reality TV and film. She is now a recruiter at Ariana Center and Transsocial, serving as a positive role model, paving the way for generations to come. Welcome, Poison Ivy.
Buenas tardes, mi gente.
And I have to bring attention, today is National Trans Visibility Day.
Celebrating my brothers and
So
sisters.
we're going to be celebrating. Next up, we are going to tell you about the things that are going to happen in this show. So I again say good evening, America. We are the first and most popular live LGBTQ talk show in the world. So much to talk about. Next on It's Happening Out.
This week on It's Happening Out. Join us on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. It all starts right now, live on It's Happening Out.
Well, you are watching a live and unedited LGBTQ talk show, so anything can happen. And with this crew, I pretty much promise you it's going to. If you're on YouTube, make sure you subscribe and click the bell for updates. If you're on Facebook, like and share the video and maybe even start a watch party if you'd like. Let's begin with our unique meme of the week. We've always started It's Happening Out that way. And this week it is called Trojan Horse. And we're going to talk about it because I haven't seen it yet. Oh, I've heard. What do y'all think about the Trojan Horse and what's been going on with Lil Nas?
I'm surprised they didn't throw Nike in there somewhere, right?
Yeah, blood shoes. Boy, that's been a big deal this week, hasn't it?
Right?
Huge
Like,
deal.
he sold them out like in a minute or something.
Yep.
Oh, listen, people are losing their mind on Twitter too.
Yeah,
I'm like,
Nike
oh my
has
God.
sued, by the way. I don't know if y'all have seen that.
Yeah, I saw that. Nike sued and satanic symbols and all kinds of talk.
Any other thoughts about our meme of the week?
Hella black queer shit. That's all I gotta say.
Okay. All right. Well, I move on out of the meme because I need a drink.
Yeah,
Let's play our game, our yes or no game, and it is called I'd Swallow That. We invite you to play right along with us. Some of us are getting ahead of me, which I'm damn jealous of. Our hosts are going to be asked 4 questions. If they agree with the question, they are going to take the shot. See, I have one here, a vodka shot in front of me. If they disagree, well, they don't take the shot, and it's going to be a very long night for me. Everybody ready?
Right.
Then let's play I'd Swallow That. Question number 1. I'd swallow that. It's Easter, and I like the fact that the Cadbury Easter Bunny is now a frog named Betty. Everybody heard the news of this? There was a national contest, and the national vote on the next Cadbury Easter Bunny was going to be a live frog that lives in Orlando, Florida.
A live frog, not an
It's
animated
live
frog.
frog, yeah. The frog won $5,000 for winning.
Like they didn't give Kermit the
Number
job.
one.
Like,
That's exactly what I was going to say.
And Cadbury donated $15,000 to
ASPCA.
PCA. Thank you. You're the pet person. Yeah,
No, so I'm glad that they donated
some
that money.
animal people on the-
Fantabulous.
on
But
the
a
fence.
frog over a bunny, like, conejitos. That's how we roll.
I just don't get the frog thing, like the frog in Orlando.
I guess everything,
Basically,
jumps. It
El Sapo.
pops.
Hot.
El Sapo.
I like the donation.
He's probably Puerto Rican. Who knows?
I know,
Puerto
right?
Rican.
Exactly.
Poison Ivy said it was a coqui.
Yeah, coquille.
I think it's stupid.
Yeah, I'm with you.
How about that?
I don't get it.
Okay,
that.
there's our
Let me
soundbite
just
on
come
question
on-
number 1. I'd swallow that.
I think it's
I took the shot, so I'm happy with the frog.
Yeah.
Oh, are you well?
Question number 2. I'd swallow that. I think Drag Race being live with fan voting in this week's announcement will be a great plot twist for the show.
Oh yeah.
What do y'all think?
I'll take that shot because you never know what's going to happen when you leave it up to the
I'll
fans.
swallow that. I agree.
You never know what's going to happen when you leave it up to the fans.
Yeah, it's
You
like
know,
American Idol for drag queens.
Exactly.
I love it.
More exciting.
They tried and it sort of worked, but it sort of went against them on, on some seasons later on. So,
I
yeah.
support it. Why not?
Yeah, and you know what? That's the honesty. It's like you think that you're playing to the judges. There could be some kind of friendship or some alliance that happens, and who knows in production. I've been there, I know. But I mean, what we're talking about here is like the American public, and you have to play to the audience.
Yeah.
So that includes our drag queen community too. So rock and roll.
I'm curious
Absolutely.
to what y'all think if the majority of a broader community gets involved in the voting, especially women that are outside the LGBT.
I welcome it. Why not?
Well,
Whom I believe are the
what if
number
they
one
have
fans.
a significant influence?
These are the people that are coming to see these shows.
Yeah,
That
Right.
really
thank
supporting
you.
You know, I always say a good performance is a good performance, and
Correct.
if you move an audience that is outside of your marginal group, that speaks a lot for the performer. Personally, I like audience participation. I have it in my competition for Queen of the Night. It's fun to involve the audience, and it makes the performers really work for it. And I think that it's a good thing. Y'all know I really don't give a damn about RuPaul's Drag Race, but in this one I did.
I was sitting here wondering, I wonder if
take
he's
the
going to
shot.
get that in. Oh, he did.
I did take the shot. So I
Yeah,
think
all
it's
right.
good.
Let's move on to question number 3. I'd swallow that. After COVID-19, a new report came out about how terrible this last year has been about our health. So after COVID-19, LGBTQ health is the worst in an entire generation. And I'm worried about my health.
Oh, no.
Anybody here worried about their health?
I'm definitely not worried about my health.
No.
And a matter of fact, I think that I go against this data report because this has probably been the healthiest year that I have ever had, in the later years of my life. Listen, I became vegan. I had COVID for 65 plus days. That definitely catapulted me into living a very mindful, healthy life. Ever since then, I have been living a healthy life, and never before has my health been more important than everything else in my life.
You're an inspiration,
Yep.
Chef Josie. I want to be you when I grow up because
No,
this
but-
bitch ate a shit ton of food the whole entire time I was in quarantine. My health went to crap. I got this vaccine that I really don't know everything about it, so we don't know all the side effects and stuff like that for the future. So I have PTSD from COVID. I'm weary. I'm not, I'm getting my second vaccine on Saturday, but I'm not going to be all out hugging everybody, every Tom, Dick, and Harry. So, or Shannon.
I can
Here's
see
the thing. I
see that.
believe-
I can see where Faye is coming from. I didn't actually see the other side of this until Faye spoke. But I'm with Josie. This has been for me probably the healthiest year of my life. Ever since excluding when I was a child. I haven't had any colds, because I've been so good at washing my hands, social distancing. I haven't had any colds, where every single year I have a cold or 2 or 3. In Washington, D.C., actually, they're celebrating the fact that this year, for the first time in I don't know how many hundreds of years, they don't have one single death from influenza. From the flu this year in Washington. So I think that while some people might be worried about their health, for others it has really been a benefit that we have.
I'm with Josie too on that. I'm with Josie too on that, because for me it was a really good chance to clear up my house. Spiritually, I grew a lot. I focused on things I never have time to focus on. I didn't go to a bunch of events, and I had time for myself and my family, my dogs, my cats. My dogs are happy. They're getting walked every day plenty. It was great. So, I'm with Josie. I figure the camps fall on both sides.
All right, well, let's move on to question number 4, and I'd swallow that. I am ready to get back out there. I don't ask you to do what or where you want to go. Just in general, I'm ready to get back out there.
I'm going to drink half the shot. How about that?
I'll swallow
and it's
that.
water, by the way, guys.
What do y'all think about getting back out there?
Well, I've been back in the scene since, I want to say November, and I'm thankfully working back at South Beach in the Palace Bar. So we've been open, kind of figuring it out, our timings, et cetera, as well as other venues, slowly but surely opening. I say just stay safe, protect yourself, protect others around you, wear your mask if you do have to, and get vaccinated.
Poison Ivy, I'm curious, over the national and international news that we've watched over the last couple of weeks about South Beach and what's been going on. Tell us real quickly how it affected the Palace.
Well, some people were able to get more hours and less hours, it depends. Some people are still not working that are in our venue staff as part of our staff. But as far as the showgirls go, they are working. It's been a cut pay, but hey, we work with the venue that you're supporting and you love. It's like a home to us. So
and
we're making ends meet.
And how about the guests that have come in, the spring breakers, etc.?
It's been interesting, fun. I'm kind of used to it. It's been many years participating in spring break. It's been a little crazy, but you kind of try to figure your way out of it. It's been a couple of shootings, a couple of fights, but again, we do have security, so it is a safe environment.
Except Poison Ivy, she's freaking packing heat herself. She said it very calmly. There was a couple shootings, a couple stabbings, but I didn't even
Puerto
use
Rican in her.
I didn't even use a paste.
Even Puerto
I didn't
Rican,
even use a
okay?
paste.
From New York. So
I was taking my eyelashes off while it was going. It didn't make any difference. Anybody else? I'm ready to get back out there.
I mean, I'm ready to get back out there. I don't know how we're going to navigate through it, quite frankly. And honestly, I think that, for those folks out there who are getting vaccinated, soon 90% of Americans are going to be vaccinated. Not that I don't even know what that means actually, but, we all need to get back out there. And, I think that we've all prepared ourselves for this moment. And it's time to, get our lives back to some sort of, I don't want to say normalcy, because that's just not it. I don't want to go back to normal. I want to go back to equitable. I want to go towards equitable. I want to go back to exceptional, extraordinary.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm hoping to be able to contribute. My wife and I, we had our restaurant open since day one here in South Florida, and it's been tough to navigate. But we've been like a frontline worker, and just hearing from my guests who come in, they're so grateful that we're open and that we're continuing to thrive and do what we do. So I think it's time. And I'm curious to see how we're going to navigate, like big music festivals and concerts and all of those things. I want to do it safely, but I also want to get back to it.
Yeah, it's coming. It's coming. Well, that's our game. I'd swallow that. At It's Happening Out, we'd like to bring attention to our LGBTQ community of the best thing of the week. And this week, it's called The Joy and Beauty of Asian American Men. We're going to show you something here as I introduce this. In light of the terrible hate crimes we are seeing against the Asian American community, we have an opportunity to spotlight world-famous photographer Terry Hastings. The Palm Springs photographer specializes in the art of male nudes, so instantly you got me. Hastings said on his social media, quote, "In light of the recent increase in Asian hate crimes, I am sending you all some hashtag Asian beauty, hashtag Asian awareness, and hashtag Asian American photos. Not only is Asian America hate growing in our American culture, it has always been part of the gay community as well. No fats, no femmes, no Asians is all too common in Grindr, and it needs to be addressed," end quote. You can see more at thehastingsgallery.com, but it gives us the opportunity to draw attention in a beautiful way to the photography of Asian men and what's going on in the Asian American community. What do y'all think?
I mean, I'll jump in right now because I just changed my profile pic to Stop Asian Hate, and it saddens me to see this happening in our country right now, and the idea that Asian Americans are less than. I was recently appointed as the vice president of Filipino American Chamber of Commerce, and this is a big conversation for us right now, and bringing that awareness. Asians are human beings, guys, and they're no less than anyone else in this world. And if we stop trying to categorize people as Black, Asian, trans, any of these labels that just divide us, and we start to recognize the human in each other and recognize and just access that empathy and compassion and start being human with each other, then hopefully we can get through this. But I tell you right now, you better watch out, because Asians are not weak. So we're clear. You go and you pick on old ladies. You go and you pick on the elderly Asian community because they're easy targets, okay? But let me tell you guys something out there. Y'all better just watch yourselves, okay? Because the Asian community is a strong community. It's a community who contributes to the U.S. economic system. We do a lot for this country, and the hate and the rhetoric that has been spread in the last 4 years that has built this environment and this environment up right now, this context that we're living, it needs to stop. And I think you're going to start seeing a lot of folks who are Asian American coming out and speaking out about it.
It's interesting because Hastings draws attention to, frankly, I didn't think about it when I was watching all of the things that are happening with Asian Americans and the direct parallels to our community, certainly the trans community, but the LGBTQ broad community also. No fats, no femmes, no Asians is almost an iconic phrase in social media platforms, in the dating apps.
I would like to speak to this.
Yeah, go ahead, Power.
I'd like to speak to that. You know, I say this all the time on this show. I speak out about this all the time, and I'm not going to stop speaking out about it. Our LGBTQ plus whatever community, we still have a problem where we wrestle with racism and bigotry. And I don't understand why it's not something that we speak more about, because it is such an underlying part of our community. It's now become systemic. People don't even bat an eye when they see stuff like this. Now, I understand preference and all that good stuff, but I have to wonder if social media and Grindr was around back in the slave days and the civil rights days, how many gays would we have seen saying no femmes, no fats, no blacks? Which we see a lot today, but how many more would we have seen? Because at that time, it was so unacceptable to see a mix of the races. The prejudice was a lot more towards blacks. And I think that right now you have that, even though you still have a lot of prejudice towards blacks and other minorities, right now Asians still have a higher degree they face a higher degree of prejudice when it comes to our community. And this is reflected in the things that you see on social media and on Grindr apps, like when you see the no fats, no femmes, no Asians. I don't know if it's so much a preference at this point. I think that it is racism, and I think that it's so systemic and it's so it is such a part of our community that people don't even take notice. And I myself wouldn't have even really brought up this point had this photographer not drawn attention to it. And it is something that we really need to talk about.
Yeah, well, it's interesting, and we draw your attention. Be sure and go to the HastingsGallery.com. The images are quite beautiful, and it gives us a moment of pause in the LGBTQ community to celebrate beautiful men. And we always love to celebrate beautiful men,
Amen.
regardless.
Even the
of how
lesbians.
they-
Absolutely.
Even the lesbians.
Exactly. All right, well, next let's move on to our segment called What's on Your Mind. Each of our hosts is going to tell us in just 30 seconds what is important to them this week. But remember, in just 30 seconds, or you're going to hear this bell. That's how it's going to work. So tell us, in 30 seconds, what's on your mind? And let's begin with Power Infiniti.
Well, what's on my mind is this the George Floyd, Derek Chauvin case. Right now, Derek Chauvin is in the courtrooms, but it's America that's on trial. 27 times. 27 times. That's how many times George Floyd said, "I can't breathe." That's how many times that he called out for his deceased mother. That's how many times he asked for help and he begged for his life. 27 times for 9 minutes. So I'm going to be watching this trial just as eagerly as I did the trial back when what's his name killed
O.J. Simpson.
O.J. Simpson. Yeah, I'm going to be watching this trial just as eagerly.
Yeah, that was in the 90s, Power, and the reason you can't remember is because it was the 90s.
Because I'm young.
Thank you very much. And
Could be a
and
side
next-
effect of the vaccination.
Yes,
Just saying.
that's right. We'll go with that. We'll go with that. Next up, Faye, what's on your mind this
Hey,
week?
what? So what's on my mind? LGBTQ community, get friends that love you. Get friends that will tell you if you've gained some weight, or if your makeup's on wrong, or if you rubbed off your eyebrow by mistake, all right? Get good friends. I saw this girl hanging out in Wynwood. She was hanging out with her little chickies, right? She came out of the bathroom. She had something stuck to her heel. Her friends didn't tell her anything. She had the tag of her shirt hanging out. Those aren't good friends, all right? Chosen family in the LGBTQ community will tell you, oh yeah, you look busted. Oh yeah, vete pa'l gimnasio. Get good friends.
That is definitely what's on your mind. And Chef Josie, what's on your mind this week?
Hey, well, listen, guys, I'm always living a life that I want to live as a contribution. I'm always living a life to check off the list of my dream list and my, what do they call it? The bucket list. Well, now I'm DJing, which is something I'm super excited to announce. And you can catch me Monday nights at Hunter's for happy hour. And then we go right into karaoke. And if you've ever heard my wife sing, it's amazing. But we bring out all the singers on Monday nights. So come check me out. On Mondays at Hunter's, Lady Snack Daddy on the turntables.
You heard it right here. Chef Josie is now also a DJ. There's like 23 things in her arsenal. Quite amazing. And Damian Pardo, what's on your mind this week?
Well, what's on my mind is something incredibly geeky. I'm sure nobody thought about this and nobody really cares, but I'm going to say it anyway. $2 trillion in the Biden plan to spend on infrastructure to create tons and tons of jobs. Nobody talks about our debt anymore at all. Every problem from every administration forward has been about printing money and printing money and printing money. And I just wonder what happened. Like, when did this change? Aren't we worried about this? Aren't we worried when that, axe is going to fall down? There you go.
All right. And Poison Ivy, what's on your mind this week?
Well, speaking of human rights, speaking of friendship, speaking of love and equality, I here represent the trans community, whether it be trans men, trans female, for our youth going through what they're going through. It's very unfortunate that we're still today dealing with other states banning laws for the trans youth, which is unfortunately not good for us to move forward. As well as to our trans community, I say, love each other, help each other, guide each other. Stop competing against each other. Leave that for the stage, leave that for the drama. But besides that, love each other. The more we're together, the more we can raise.
And thank you very much. And that's what is on the minds of our host this week. Next, let's catch up on the news from Hollywood. And this is a kind of a strange one of the news from entertainment. We call it our celebrity hot topic of the week. Many celebrities have weighed in this week to echo support of health professionals and business leaders over vaccine hesitancy. More and more people are separating the haves and the have-nots for vaccines. Are we going to have a vaccine passport? It's being suggested to be able to board an international flight or to travel to other countries. Some are suggesting only vaccinated Americans will be able to attend concerts, sporting events, or other activities that eliminate social distancing regulations. It reminds us all of the segregation that grew over smoking and being around smokers. We don't even think about it today. Don't get a vaccine? Well, do we even care if you don't? So our topic this week is, celebrities are suggesting loudly the unvaccinated will be segregated worse than smoking. What do y'all think?
Listen, I'm going to jump right in here, and I'm going to say call bullshit on those celebrities who are coming out and trying to lead the conversation in that way. Listen, guys, okay, and take me out of context if you want, okay, but vaccination passport, why don't you put a Star of David on me as well, okay? When we're talking about who needs to have the vaccination, who's not going to have the vaccination is still unproven. We're guinea pigs in the vaccination, okay? My mother had the vaccination, people in my family, there's lots of people around me getting the vaccination. My focus has been on the people who need the vaccination, the most vulnerable in our communities, having access to that vaccination immediately, okay? Great. The next step then is, I guess, leaving it optional for the rest of the Americans. Now, there's still ways to prove that you have tested positive or negative for COVID. You can still be able to board a plane if I say you have to have a rapid test that shows that you are negative within 48 hours, okay? Without having to now put me into a system and give me a passport and put that star on my shoulder. Like, this is not American, guys, and I hate. Okay, this is like eating me from the inside, but I'm playing devil's advocate right here, okay? I don't understand how I'm even agreeing with Republicans. I know that they're like I know that they are totally politicizing this right now. But the reality of it is, okay, is that a passport, guys, like really think about that in the way that what we're doing here is we're starting to allow the government to separate us, to, like you say, segregate us. And what's the next thing? Or if you don't get the vaccine, you're going to be put into a camp? Like, what are we talking about here? And the reality of it comes down to, if 90% of Americans have the vaccine, what are you afraid of if you have the vaccine, if I don't have the vaccine? Now why? Why do you care if I have the vaccine? So I'm just curious to know what everyone else thinks on this panel.
I'm curious, what do y'all think about that? Josie has summarized the anti.
I don't know that celebrities need to be leading it, and I don't believe in forcing people to do anything, but I definitely believe that people should be incented in every way possible to take the vaccine. The science is the science. It speaks for itself. We know that it offers protection even to many of the variants.
Damien, I apologize for interrupting you, but to you specifically and others that want to comment on it. Let's for a moment grant that is absolutely true. The focus of our conversation here is specifically, should you be allowed to get on a plane or be allowed to get on a plane and smoke? Should you be allowed to smoke in a restaurant? And the movement argument over the last 30 years has been, no, you shouldn't be able to. And these celebrities are arguing, well, it's the exact same thing on vaccine. You're adding unnecessary risk, and if you do, you shouldn't have the privileges of being able to be in a concert or get on a plane.
But that's up to the business, really, not not to celebrities. I mean, it's really the business owner.
Yeah, but that's not what we did on smoking. Smoking, we made state and federal and local regulations. I'm not saying that that's good or bad. I'm just saying that's really our focus here of conversation. They're making the argument that that's what we did on smoking. Why wouldn't we do that?
I'd be in favor of regulation.
Yeah. You would be.
I think if we've learned anything from 2020 is to understand that everybody has boundaries, right? We had to learn boundaries a la mala, the hard way during COVID. And it's the same thing when it comes to vaccination. Nobody should tell you that you have to get vaccinated. Right. If you want to go and have to get rapid testing every time you go on a plane, you should be allowed to do everything else that the rest of us that are vaccinated do, and it should be on your own accord. Now, that being said, if you don't want to get a vaccine and you get COVID, I don't know if we should be responsible for helping you if you are in dire need in the hospital. I don't know that my wife should be the one that is helping you with a respirator in your last days because you didn't want to get vaccinated. I'm definitely on the fence there. But boundaries are boundaries, and you should be able to choose your own.
Well, I'm on the fence as well, because on the one hand, I don't think that, there are people that for whatever ideological or even religious reasons do not believe in getting vaccinated. And I don't believe that we should force that upon them. On the other hand, some people, they don't want to sit down, they don't want to stay home, they don't want to wear masks, they don't want to get vaccinated, and then they expect other countries to say, okay. If what I'm saying, if you go into another country that says, well, we require you come into our land that you be vaccinated, then I think that should be adhered to. So, that's where I'm on the fence on.
Yeah, it's, I unfortunately, I've got to move on, but this conversation that we're having right here, the various different points, is what the next evolution of COVID-19 is going to evolve to. We're going to stop discussing the things that we've discussed about COVID-19, and this is going to be one of the future topics that we discuss. That is our discussion tonight on entertainment. Next, we report that Happening Out Television Network helps support our LGBTQ community. An example is here at the Sunshine Cathedral, the world's largest queer church here in Fort Lauderdale. And we are broadcasting tonight from our permanent set in supporting that partnership with the network as we broadcast the largest LGBTQ religious broadcast in the world, with more than 30,000 watching every Sunday at 10:30 a.m. Eastern, and it's totally live. We encourage you to tune in. Our campaign of sponsorship proudly supports Sunshine Cathedral is my queer church. Watch this.
Hi, my name is Misty Eyes, and I'm the Director of Transgender Services, Women's Services, and Education Training at SunServe. And Sunshine Cathedral is my queer church.
We'd also like to thank our set designer, Concepto Modern Living, here in Fort Lauderdale for making this set in this amazing queer church campus possible. And finally, we thank It's Happening Out hotel sponsor, Best Western I-95 Fort Lauderdale. This is the closest and best choice to the famous Wilton Drive, and our host and guest stay at this LGBTQ ally partner. We encourage you to stay here when you visit South Florida. Well, up next, if we were standing around the LGBTQ water cooler, this is what we would all be talking about. We refer to it as the hot topic of the week. Big news this week. The Vatican and the Catholic Church says that priests cannot bless gay unions because they are sin in the eyes of God. But dramatic news came out this week that more than half of all priests are estimated, in that estimation, to be gay. The world's most visible Catholic LGBTQ advocate, Father James Martin, who met with Pope Francis, discussed this week the contradictions of the Vatican and estimates that between 40 and 80% of all priests are gay. Author Frederick Martel, in his book, In the Closet of the Vatican, supported the statement today, saying LGBTQ priests are the silent majority of the Catholic Church. He continued that the Catholic Church is 50 shades of gay. We are in Holy Week for Christians, Jews, and Muslims, and our hot topic is Holy Week begins with shocking revelation that the majority of priests are gay. What did y'all think on this?
Is that really shocking? I mean, really? Is that shocking? It's not shocking to me. I went to an all-boy Jesuit school, and it would have been an easy guess. And I think most people within the religion would say that, well, they're really just not acting on it. They're gay, but they don't act on being gay. So that's a really strange way to live. I mean, it's difficult.
Can
That
I
oath
send
of
this
celibacy.
story to my mom?
I would like to know. I'm not saying that I doubt this story or that I doubt the information, but just to be credible and to keep us credible, I would really like to know how they got this estimation. I mean, it's not like they probably polled these priests and the priest said, "Yeah, girl, I'm gay, but y'all don't tell me."
There's a very specific interview process that you must
Anonymous.
Yeah, like how did they get this information? And the contradiction with the church is that and I have approached churches, in my search for answers, because I'm on a spiritual journey, and I have talked to other Christian churches, and I've said to them, well, Catholic priests, even if one is gay, he is still gay even if he acts on his homosexuality, whether he acts on his homosexual tendencies or not. He's still gay. He's just a gay man that just doesn't act on it. Just like a heterosexual priest is no less heterosexual just because he doesn't have sex with a woman. So in their response is, well, it's not so much the gay thing, it's the acting on it, it's the lifestyle. Oh, well, child, which is it? Is it that it's a sin to be gay or it's a sin to act gay? I don't understand. And let's get that together.
And Power gets to one of the points that we did 10 minutes yesterday in Queer News on this. Wow. and brought a lot of information into it. One of the big contradictions that may be coming from the church is, how do gay priests bless gay or LGBTQ unions? That may be the disconnect that the church doesn't want to be associated with. That their rejection of LGBTQ unions and blessing of those unions is because the people that would be doing the blessing are gay.
Right, some internalized homophobia too.
And we reported on that. In Martel's book, he talks about that some of the most critical anti-LGBT in the church are likely priests that are gay, but it's internalized homophobia.
And aren't we really concerned about how this stance and this recent announcement is going to affect the overall sentiment towards LGBTQ communities. When the Vatican makes a statement like this and makes it basically ungodly to bless LGBTQ union. Are we concerned that would create some backlash in our communities just against LGBTQ, just like Asian hate right now, just like trans hate? Are we not concerned about that?
Yep.
I've got to speak up. You just heard me kind of read the church for their their kind of like hypocrisy, but I have to say, as independently and maybe contrarian here, even though yes, there are a lot of priests that might have internalized homophobia, the position of the church has been consistent, right? It's been consistent for thousands of years. And so it is a church doctrine, not a gay priest doctrine. It is a church doctrine that they actually believe and are convicted that homosexuality is wrong. And it's not that it comes from somebody just making it up and we just hate gays. They actually believe this from the Bible. And this is why I said I've gone on a search and a journey to find answers, because even though, yes, there is a lot of hate that comes out of religion and that is spurred by religion, you also have to understand where your opposition is coming from. And people will die for their faith, and their faith convicts them that this is wrong. They're not just saying it just because they want to be evil, it's because they truly believe this. So if we can get to where this comes from and an understanding of why there is this belief, and maybe have an understanding and get to the bottom of it and disperse whatever it is that they think is so wrong about it, maybe there can be a way forward. But unless that happens, this is not going to change for the church. This is not going to change. They didn't just think of this yesterday. This has been thousands of years upon which they stand. Period. Point blank.
Well, as we open the show, we bring attention again. This is Holy Week for Christians, for Jews, for Muslims. Regardless of how you feel about it, it gave us an excellent opportunity to have this conversation, because it is really a breaking news issue, not only from the Pope's announcement last week, but this new announcement in terms of the number of priests that are gay. And one final note before we move on to our lightning round of Saved by the Bell. One final note, we reported in Queer News tonight that the largest study survey ever of attitude toward the LGBTQ community in America, including support for the Equality Act, Catholics in America support the LGBTQ community in the mid 70%. So while the church may have this position, the vast majority of the parishioners of the Catholic Church do not feel the same way. So it's an interesting contradiction on so many levels, including the people that financially support and attend service and identify as Catholic. There's a lot of contradiction here going on. But regardless of whatever you feel this week, we again remind you it's Holy Week, and we wish you, whether you believe or you do not have faith, we wish everyone faith and peace this week. All right, well, let's move on and have a lightning round. There was a lot of silly and important headlines in the news this week, and let's discuss them now in our segment that we call Saved by the Bell. But there's a twist. We are only going to discuss each of these topics for 1 minute. And goodness, this is so difficult. But at the end of each minute, you're going to hear this bell. I love that bell.
I hate that bell.
I hate that bell too.
Faye hates that bell. I love that bell. To stop and move on. So regardless of where we're at, here we go. A new study has revealed that pollution is causing an unexpected side effect on human fetus, a reduction in genital size. Will this be the final push to get old Republican white men to do something about climate change? Saved by the Bell, headline number 1, human penises are shrinking because of pollution, and science has confirmed it.
Thank God I was born in 1972, child. You don't have to worry about that. What I got is what I got.
What?
It's funny that you say that, Al, about, oh, will this change the minds of white Republicans? I'm like, are you kidding me? They want to use this as their excuse.
Yes, I love that. Anybody concerned about shrinking genitals?
Well, how do they know? I mean, couldn't it be testosterone or all the other stuff, people are taking? I mean, that can't be good for you.
Well, we'll assume. Actually, the study refers
yeah.
to plastics.
Correct.
That what's causing it is
The
plastics.
GMOs as well, yes. In the food as well. I'm also vegan, like her, and I've been vegan for the past 7 years, and our food does contain a lot of GMO, and I do strive to educate others on that subject. Eat organic, make sure it has the USDA label, make sure it has the GMO-free label, which is a little butterfly, etc. And that does make a difference, people. It makes a difference not only in your penis size, but it makes a difference in your health.
Yay for peanuts.
Does it make it bigger?
I guess I ate really well when I was young. Tennessee is trying to figure out a way to pretend we don't exist. But we're here, we're queer, but apparently Tennessee can't get used to it. Saved by the Bell headline number 2, Tennessee bill would ban all books that mention LGBTQ people in public schools. I'm not kidding.
Well, what would you expect from Tennessee?
No, I can't either. I mean, just don't live in Tennessee. I mean, like that's.
Dollywood's in
I
Tennessee,
can believe it.
Graceland is in Tennessee, and I'm going nowhere near that place ever again.
It's just another way of segregating people, unfortunately, whether you're Black, Asian, or, moving forward. Again, don't visit there.
Yeah.
That's all I can give.
Is anyone
No,
shocked?
I don't
think
say
the big
like
picture.
don't visit there. I say let's
I
go there
said-
with our rainbows. Let's march through the streets. Let's be loud. Let's be queer. Let's be loud and queer. Let's go ahead and empower all of the Tennessee LGBTQ members of their community to have a voice. Like, forget about that. You are not putting any of us back in the closet. Tennessee, Arkansas, any of you guys. I don't care how backwards you want to live. I don't care if you want to sleep with your cousin. I don't care about those things. You want to sleep with your cousin, and I want to sleep with my sister. How about that? Okay, and that's it.
I think Al asked a great question when Al asked, seriously, was anybody surprised that it was Tennessee? I mean, if he had said California or New York, we would all gag. But when he said Tennessee, I mean, nobody even really batted an eye.
Yeah, exactly. And by the way, in addition, this is not the craziest of the bills that's in front of Tennessee.
Oh, yeah.
The craziest of the bill is the book that they want to make the official state book of Tennessee is the Bible.
No way.
Yep.
It's absolutely
The Bible.
All right, let's move on. Jokes about gay men, Christmas, silly romantic comedies. The jokes just seem to write themselves, don't they? Saved by the Bell, headline number 3. Netflix announces this week that it is going to have a gay holiday rom-com called Single All the Way. What do y'all think?
Too cute. Visibility. We had one last season, and it was a lesbian one, I
That
believe.
was on
and it was
Hallmark,
super
not
cute.
Netflix.
And I love that they're using gay actors, so finally.
And trans actresses as well.
Exactly.
playing Trans roles.
Absolutely. Makes a big difference.
Absolutely.
And really, at the end of the day, it's like the more special we try to make ourselves, so we're just so different from everyone else, the more that we continue to create this division of our communities. And I say, listen, gay is a part of the world, guys. LGBTQ, we're part of life. So just get used to it. Swallow the pill already. I'm not going to fight with you about this anymore. I'm not going to hide from you anymore. I'm not doing any of that. Thank you, Netflix, for always representing our community.
Amen.
All right, well, next up, this ad is running during a collegiate sports event that some states are trying to ban trans athletes. It's an interesting story. Watch this. Well, apparently we're not going to be showing you that commercial, but the HRC is running a commercial in the NCAA basketball tournament and they're calling out specific people that are anti-trans, including Asa Hutchinson, the governor of Arkansas. And they're running this basically suggesting, well, there's a whole core of people that can't play in this tournament if the southern states and the conservative Republican state houses that are trying to pass these anti-trans laws are not going to be able to do it. So Saved by the Bell headline number 4. This ad during the NCAA tournament names and shames lawmakers pushing anti-trans laws. What do y'all think?
Good. Call
Love
them
it.
out. Yeah,
Yep.
call them out on their ass, of course. Show how effed up they really are by doing this. Yes, I love it. Love it.
I do too. They need to be called out. Otherwise, they just stay in anonymity and keep doing the same things.
But does it really work? I mean, obviously, this person did sign the legislation and didn't sign it in secret. It's a public signing. She made a public declaration of what of his intentions. So, is it really shaming them? I mean, like delivering, sending them like a burning box of dog shit. I think maybe might be better.
I say do
This
both.
ain't really
I'm
going to-
pondering that right now.
Right, I'm with you.
I think the best way to affect these lawmakers who are making these kind of choices and signing their name on the dotted line, we attack their pockets, guys. Like that's how we do it in big corporations. We boycott. We show our voice and our power in numbers to create change. And if it's not okay, it's not okay. Let's go ahead and attack their wallet.
Exactly. All right. Well, our neighborhoods are losing our gay bars in record numbers. Perhaps a stopgap measure is to add celebrity involvement. Saved by the Bell headline number 5. Lance Bass announces that he has signed a lease to open up a brand new gay nightclub.
Fun.
Love it. I thought he was more like a cook, right? I've seen him on some cook shows with his mom, and he's super cute, right? And I think the place was the Old Rage in WeHo, which I used to
the Old
love.
Rage.
So I
Yeah,
mean,
I love
awesome.
West
Bring it
Hollywood.
back, Lance Bass. Insect that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and
I
my
agree.
wife is a huge fan, which is so hilarious because that's like a fun fact. But she's like a huge Lance Bass, had the biggest crush on Lance Bass, and I said he's gay.
God knows we could use one in Miami too, because all the bars are just shutting down.
You don't have
I
any
re-
in the mainland of Miami.
I believe we still
Twist
do
is-
have.
There's Azúcar.
We have a
We have
Yeah.
we have
That's-
several nightclubs. I think the new thing now is more of a brunch kind of feeling, or a lunch, or maybe an early dinner kind of vibe show, starting at normal regular hours, whatever that means. But congratulations to Lance. I love West Hollywood. I had the pleasure to work there as well, and I support it. I'm definitely will come by.
Excellent. Interesting. Well, anti-democratic voter suppression has been passed in Georgia. In one day, it was passed in secret with 7 old white men signing the bill in front of a painting of a slave plantation. With a black woman, a legislature of the state of Georgia, knocking on the door outside and then being dragged out by police and was arrested. Well, in Georgia, they have the Masters Golf Tournament, Coca-Cola's headquarters, Home Depot, and more. So Saved by the Bell headline number 6, Georgia voter suppression laws. What do we think about boycotts?
Well, didn't
I
Josie say
think
that's
just
where
like
we
I
hit him in the
think just
pocket?
that's right. Just like Josie said, sometimes that's the only way that they really feel. They don't have a moral compass. They don't have a moral spine. But when it comes to financial and economic, constitution, they got that, and so that's the only way that they're going to learn. I find it amazing that the police responded quicker to a black lady simply knocking on the door than they did people running up in the Capitol. Committing acts of domestic terrorism. That really speaks volumes about America and where we are now. But I'm gonna tell you right now, as a black person, I say whatever legislation they pass to try to stop black people and other minorities from voting, we should turn it against them, do whatever that needs to be done, still vote, vote those lawmakers out. Vote in lawmakers that are actually going to do something for us and change those laws. That's what we do.
Preach.
Yep.
Preach, power. Preach.
Excellent. And I have to tell you, I've the voice that I've listened to the most is Senator Warnock. My goodness, has he been genius this week in terms of talking about what is going on in Georgia. And of course, being the pastor of Ebenezer in Atlanta gave him some cred too. Well, finally tonight, we're the LGBTQ community. We're going to move out of Saved by the Bell. So we're going to kind of move toward the end of the show by having sex and relationships. We play this game every week, and our game asks, who would you do? Poison Ivy, are you ready? And why would you do it? Damien, we're going to ask you. And what would you do? And Josie and Faye, we're for sure going to be asking you those. We are going to do 3 different interesting people. Oh,
Charlene asking me shit, huh?
You threw me for a loop there. Good job. The 3 different interesting people. But wait, hold on. For the first time ever, it's not people, but what satisfies us even more than hot men or hot women, and that is Easter candy.
Oh, I was thinking orgies, but
it's Easter. More is better. We played Thrupples last week. It's Easter week. Easter is Sunday, so tonight our game is Shag, Marry, Chop, and our theme is the best Easter candies. So this week we're going to play with the Cadbury egg, as you see there, and then Hershey chocolate, and the chocolate bunny in the middle. And last but certainly not least, Butterfinger. And don't even get me started on any of the wordplay jokes that I could be telling. So let's play Shag, Marry, Chop. You choose who you would shag, who you marry, who you chop. Those are the game rules. And let's start with Power. Power, who are you going to shag?
Well, I think I'm going to shag the Cadbury egg because I love cream. I'm definitely gonna marry Butterfinger, all of it, all 12 packs. And the chocolate bunny to me kind of sounds like scat work, and I'm not into that. So,
I'm going to try to get through the game forgetting that now. All right. All right, and Faye, what? Who are you shagging?
Oh my God, me and my sister Power, we have the same likings today. Let me tell you, Cadbury egg, I am shagging because I love that cream too.
Did y'all see the commercial? The
yes,
Cadbury commercial.
That commercial was everything with those 2 boys. I loved it. I am gonna marry Butterfinger because that's what I call my wife, Butterfinger.
Aww.
You know what I mean?
Aww.
And chocolate bunny because.
Wait, why is she Butterfingers?
I'll explain to you later at dinner.
Okay.
And I will chop the chocolate bunny.
Hey, before we move on, so far 2 for 2 on Cadbury egg, let me tell you something that happened. When that commercial debuted for Cadbury and the 2 guys were just so out there of the kiss and well, you can see 1 million moms boycotted Cadbury for this commercial. And Cadbury estimated, they came back and said 1 million moms boycotting them probably led to 1 million more sales that they got boycotted by them. So it was an absolute outstanding justice. All right, and Chef Josie, who are you going to shag?
Well, y'all know I'm vegan, so like I can't even play this game.
Me too.
Just
So,
kidding.
you know.
Okay, so before I was vegan, I'd probably shag Butterfingers because I mean, who doesn't like chocolate and butter? You know, I mean, you know.
And fingers.
Peanut
Fingers. Josie.
Sounds like a good time.
Yeah, it
you know
sounds like
what I
a
mean?
really good time at the Josie house.
Yeah, and then, you know, I'd probably marry the chocolate bunny because that just sounds fun, you know, chocolate, hopping around.
Which
we
is
can
now
hop
a fraud.
around to parties and clubs and who knows where else and hop in and out of different kind of scenarios, and who knows? That just sounds like fun, you know. I could eat their ear, you know, whatever. Eat their tail. I don't know, you know. I don't know how you eat a chocolate bunny, but I mean, we can really get into this. And then I'm gonna chop the Cadbury egg because I have my own eggs and I don't need any more.
Oh, yeah. Okay. All right, and Damien Pardo, I've been waiting for this moment.
Well,
Are you going to shag?
I am gonna shag, and I'm gonna shag the chocolate bunny. No scat, just the chocolate bunny. I mean, it's awesome. You know, you have this bunny. It's hopping. It's like fun. Definitely, that's a shagger. And the Cadbury egg, I'll marry.
You're
You know,
marrying the Cadbury
I'll marry the Cadbury egg. It's romantic.
Yeah.
You know, you're there with your Cadbury egg.
Yeah.
And finally is the Butterfinger, which you got to chop that. You got to chop the Butterfinger.
And you're saying
And we
you've got
was
to.
just talking about Asian hate, Chop.
Yeah, I was waiting for somebody to get in. I see. You're no fats, no femmes, no Asians. No, I'm only
That
kidding.
is Pacquiao.
I'm only
anyways,
kidding.
but
And Poison Ivy, who would you shag?
Gets a little difficult for me. I second that, the chef. I'm also vegan. I'm also a pansexual besides being a trans woman. But back in the day and still today, I do admire. So I'm going to go ahead with my childhood favorite, the chocolate bunny.
That's who you would shag.
As my shag, yes,
Yeah,
correct.
Okay.
For many different reasons. You can you can
Tell me
start
the
in
number
any part
one.
of the body.
What's the number one reason?
You're in control of where you're going to bite them first.
Oh,
Let's just go ahead and say that.
right.
I like being in control.
that sounds very sexy. All right.
And the Butterfinger, of course, after the munchies, who doesn't love butter and, you know, fingers.
You're
Finger-looking Butterfinger. And as far as the egg goes, I don't know. I haven't thought about that.
yeah.
So you're chopped.
All right. You're not as big a fan of the cream as Power is.
No, I supply my own cream.
Yeah.
Fortunately.
All right. Well, happy Easter, everybody. You find your favorite chocolate for Easter. Well, before we end the show tonight, we'd like to introduce our sponsor, and that is Jet's Pizza. And they are great here in South Florida. If you're here in South Florida, of course, you know Jet's Pizza. They're a Detroit-style pizza. It's quite excellent. And there are locations all over the country, and we thank them. We're getting ready to enjoy some of the pizza from Jets. Well, that is going to end our show, but before we do, we're going to say goodnight, and we're going to give all of our hosts one last opportunity to do that, and let's start with Power Infiniti.
Good night. Just kidding. So everybody, yay! I got my first vaccination shot today. I'm so happy. My arm's a little sore. It feels like somebody punched me in the arm, but I'm good. So don't be afraid. Go out and get it. And of course, once again, I had a great time with our host and our co-host. Welcome to all our special guest hosts that came on tonight. And every single week, tune in right here to the Happening Out Network for It's Happening Out at 8 o'clock every Wednesday.
And thank you very much. And Faye, what?
Faye What? So make sure that you subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's on YouTube, Faye What. Also, catch me here on Monday and Wednesdays with White Privilege as we do Queer News Tonight at 7 p.m. Also, it's happening out travel. We've got a new show. Let's start traveling, people, and you'll be traveling with me and David Hopkins. So make sure you catch that as well, all right? And we'll see you guys here next Wednesday on It's Happening Out.
And Chef Josie?
Hey guys, listen, I have lots going on in the world as per usual, and it's always exciting to be back here on the set at It's Happening Out live every Wednesday night with all my fun friends. And look, just so you can, to rehash, you don't always have to agree to align. We have conversation. It's healthy. It's healthy not to agree all the time.
Oh my God,
okay?
yes.
That's how we celebrate our differences. So come back next Wednesday. Let's continue to have conversation, and let's get into the topics that mean the most to us. And in the meantime, follow me at Chef Josie on all social media platforms, and I'll see you next Wednesday.
And don't forget to eat at Bubbles and Pearl.
Yeah, well, there's that too.
There's that too. And Damian Pardo.
I'd say good night, and I want to echo what Josie said. We don't have to agree, but we have to have great conversations, and we can't do that without your opinions. So join us on Wednesday and bring opinions. Come be a part of us in whatever way you can. And for those of you this weekend who are not perhaps celebrating Easter or any other religious holiday, we're thinking of you as well, and have a peaceful time.
Excellent. And Poison Ivy.
I just want to say it was a pleasure joining you guys today. Hopefully I'll get back soon. I do want to say support your local LGBTQ businesses, venue, restaurants, nightclub, etc. You can catch me every Thursday for my Latin night at the Palace Bar and Sundays, as well as Saturday at night at Twist after the curfew is due. And of course, my new brunch is Sings Gastro Bar, Miami Shores Village. The next one is April 25th. God bless. Stay safe. Love you
Sounds
guys.
like a lot of fun. Is what you watched tonight important to you? You sat right at the LGBTQ kitchen table, right along with the rest of us. So remember, we invite you every Wednesday night at 8 o'clock. And remember also, if it's important to you, it's happening out. Good night, America.